Manchester City 3-3 at Real Madrid, and then Arsenal 2-2 against Bayern Munich at the Emirates. What did you make of those games and how that's now poised going into the second leg?
The Man City one didn't surprise me that it would be full of class and goals and the type of goals. The goals were incredible in that game. And it was literally you have a go, we have a go, and just brilliant fast football. Ancelotti is a really clever manager. Harry's done so well with Real Madrid in different eras with different players. He's now got a much more effective. Look, they're going to win the La Liga this year, aren't they, Nat? Real Madrid. But he seems to be able to transform them. Whatever his management style is, he seems to be able to find a way of getting the very best out of players that they have at the football club, and has managed it brilliantly. And I've never known anybody. I don't know anybody who's worked with him. All I know is that I see a guy who seems to know how to manage players incredibly well. So it's poised brilliantly. I still think City have well enough to win it against them. I think at the Etihad, they just have. I mean, Foden's goal was just extraordinary. What a strike! And you look at players that they have in that team who can turn up in any moment. So. City are in a good position, I feel, even though it's 3-3 and the away goals is not relevant anymore. I still think City will beat them at the Etihad.
And then you have Arsenal, who drew 2-2, as I mentioned, with Bayern Munich. Harry Kane inevitably getting on the score sheet. But it's so funny when you look at Bayern Munich's season and how it has just gone on this downward spiral domestically in Germany. Yeah. This really their only chance of pulling off some success for Thomas Tuchel in his final season in charge. Is the fact that now the second leg in Germany going to make it a whole lot tougher for Arsenal?
Well, it's everything that Bayern have got to play for. It's the only thing.
Yeah.
There's a great headline in the Times by James Gearbrandt who talks about why years of dominance often ends in this disrepair. And the club is in disrepair. They are all over the place. Harry Kane's done extraordinary. Imagine if he wouldn't have done what he's done this season, how bad Bayern's season would have been. Stuttgart have been up there around as well, apart from Bayer Leverkusen. They've got when I see Muller in the team, Thomas Muller, and he has been a great player over the years. When I see him still in the team, there's still problems at Bayern because they always move on. They had to move on from players like Ribéry, Robin, that quality player. They've got to do that now, I think, this summer.
I think Arsenal weren't necessarily at their best in this game at the Emirates, which maybe is a positive going into the second leg, knowing they can be a whole lot better. Admittedly, yes, it's in front of Bayern Munich fans, which is going to make it a little bit trickier perhaps, but maybe that's a little bit of confidence that they can take into this second leg, knowing that they can produce better.
Well, they can keep a clean sheet. I know they didn't in midweek, but they're capable of keeping a clean sheet at Arsenal. They can go there and make it really... If you just get the wingers, whether it's Martinelli, Saka, Trossard, whoever, to get near their fullbacks, because Arsenal tend to play with nearly four centre-halves as fullbacks, fullbacks, their back line's nearly four centre-halves. If they attempt to do that, I think they'll frustrate Bayern, but could nick it. Arsenal have got enough players that can just turn in a moment to go and make it 1-0 and get that type of result. I thought beforehand that Arsenal would get through in this tie, because I'd seen quite a bit of Bayern, but I just think that it'll be one of them games. It's all about the night, the performance, and not getting caught up. Arsenal don't look like the team that got caught up in the night, the moment. Like when they lost the title and Champions League football the year before that, where they got caught up in all the drama, the chaos. Don't get caught up in that, and I think Arsenal have enough.
Obviously, that was Tuesday night, and then on Thursday, other English sides. I know, Cass, I know. You know where we're going with this one as well. And we should point out...
I timed my flight, when I was coming back from the Middle East, I timed it so I could get back and watch the Liverpool game.
I bet you wish you hadn't. You could have spent a few more hours in the
Well,
sunshine.
luckily the Masters had started, so I sort of thought, well, I can have a watch of something else for a little... Anyway, but that's,
It was a result, I guess... No, not many would have expected to have lost Liverpool.
My flight. Maybe that. I hired the pilot.
I was going to say, a private jet that you went on. But not many would have expected Liverpool to have lost in the way that they lost. I mean, 3-0 is a huge, huge deficit for them to try and turn around when they head to Italy for the second leg against Atalanta. I should point out, look, Aston Villa were the only team of all those in from the English competitions to have actually won in midweek, which has had a massive effect on the coefficients when it comes to that extra spot in the Champions League for next season. As things stand, England will not be able to have that guaranteed extra spot, which we were all talking about, 4th and 5th being perhaps a Champions League spot in the Premier League this season. But going on to Liverpool then, what went wrong?
Well, everything. I'm not surprised now that Liverpool. I said I felt there was a bad defeat going to be happening along the way because Liverpool were too open. You know, when they drew 3-3 at Old Trafford, you know, in the game in the league and lost 4-3 in the cup, I remember thinking, you giving away 2 goals, both from one with Núñez playing across the field pass, and then Hazard does the same thing in the league game, trying to attempt to pass across the pitch. I'm not surprised now. Did I think 3-0? No. And by the way, Atalanta were superb. Yeah. Their work rate was immense and just denied. And watching them go from forward defending to attacking so quickly, Liverpool get caught out. They overload in forward positions, Liverpool. That's their style. Bad night, but move on. They're still in this title race. But there's other concerns for me. I've been thinking about, and I say this now because it's been on my mind for quite a while now. When Klopp signed a new deal, I remember thinking, when he announced his retirement from leaving Liverpool, thinking, you're not even halfway through the contract that you signed. And then I felt, do you know what? If a player walked into an office and said to the manager, by the way, I want to move, or I want to quit, or whatever, you know. This happens often with players where they walk into and say to the manager would be furious. Klopp has got a free pass with Liverpool fans that he's leaving the club because he's said that he hasn't got the energy and he's, you know, that it's something missing in him. I get all of that, and I would never want another manager than Jurgen Klopp for us representing us at the club. But it's a part of me that thinks I'm really disappointed that he's done it in this way, because if you had that player in front of you saying I want to move on, a lot of managers, and I've witnessed it myself, get furious with a player because they want to move on. Jurgen Klopp is going to manage again. Liverpool fans don't think about it. He's going to manage again.
I do know what you're suggesting, because obviously in other situations when a manager has said that they want to leave, or someone of non-playing staff, they get put on gardening leave, for example. It's not something clubs want to hear from a manager, or, as I say, somebody in that kind of position, coaching or.
He's taking his whole team with him.
Yeah, that's true.
They've all decided
to leave. But maybe that's because he's just had enough in the bank for the hierarchy at Liverpool, the fans, to go, do you know what? You brought such joy to our team over the last few years that we'll let you go with our blessing. Even though I know a lot of Liverpool fans would love it if he turns around and says, actually, no, I'm going to stick around. I've actually enjoyed this season and I want to stick around. But obviously we will assume he won't do that. Briefly, because we've got to hit a break, a lot of people have been writing off Liverpool now for the rest of this season.
No, don't. It was a bad day at the office. Okay. Liverpool are in an incredible position. You're level with a team at top. There's 7 games to go. I don't believe any of them top 3 teams will get 21 points, get the maximum. No, so Liverpool are still in it. Even though this has been a really poor week and it ended with Atalanta, Liverpool are in this title race. They've got the perfect game on Sunday to play Palace at home. Now, Palace could cause an upset. Of course they could. But it's the best game to prove themselves.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.